The biggest challenge that I gave my team this year is to come up with the boldest ideas that they believe will help sell the products of our clients. I didn't want to be limited by what we have already shot in the past, and I really hope that my team can come up with interesting new ideas for our clients. And what started as an offhand comment actually became a reality. The client is Wander Club, and they're all about collecting tokens for your travels. Instead of talking about travel, why don't we actually travel? How did we get to the point of, hey, let's take a trip to San Diego to shoot content? I'm curious what was kind of going on in the formulation of these ad ideas that we kind of got to the point of like, hey, this would be a good idea. We should totally do this.
So Wander Club, travel related product. We've shot some creator videos, kind of UGC more style content with them before. Most of our content we shoot in a house. We were thinking like, what are some bigger ideas? What can we do differently? What can we do that no other agency would do? What can we do that no other creator is willing to do? I think one of the first things we thought of was like, why don't we go somewhere? This is a product about traveling. Why have we not gotten travel content? Plane footage. Can we get somewhere with a beautiful background, an iconic landmark or something like that to really like represent travel? And so I think that's where it originated from, was just like, think of the biggest idea. Let's do something that someone would not do.
When you're talking about this product, you're talking about it from the perspective of you have already come back from travel, right? Like you traveled and now you're collecting this token to kind of represent that time that you had just done. Whereas this was kind of, what if we thought about before they're going to travel kind of connects with the product? And I think that perspective was so different because that wasn't really being done. And we definitely weren't thinking about it from that perspective. We were basically trying to figure out how do we talk about it from a souvenirs perspective. This was also just like a whole new POV for us and like the ad ideas.
A completely different perspective being like, hey, you know, we're gonna send someone on a trip rather than like, yeah, all these other videos that we were doing were like, now that you've gone on this trip, let's go get a souvenir, just like something to memorialize it. I felt like our videos had a different tone and were less like, go buy this to remember your travels. And like, yes, that's what the product does, but I felt like we came at it with a more inspirational tone. Like, hey, let's talk about travel. Let's talk about, you know, why people like travel, inspiring people to travel, to go try new things and book their trips and stuff like that. So it came from like a different tone of voice in my head as well, rather than like one specific person and their experience. It came from more just like an overarching tone and theme of traveling.
So we knew we needed to take a trip. I think that was good, but then formulating what are we gonna do? Okay, like I'm gonna travel, but then actually thinking about how does this connect back to the product, I think was not the hardest part. That was definitely the trickier part of like, okay, how do we relate this? Because we don't wanna just make a cool video. We wanna be able to still sell the product. Like there needs to be something that's different, that stands out, but it still needs to sell. Like we still need to do that at the end of the day. I had brought up the Casey Neistat video, which was about like the make it count. The whole idea was like, take all of the money and I'm gonna travel around the world. We basically did a version of that, not around the world. We basically did something kind of like that. So maybe you could talk through a little bit about how we kind of went from this raw idea, we're gonna go do this trip, to content formats that would like equate to like an ad. How did we come up with those ideas?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one of the videos that kind of, I felt like, kickstarted the rest of our ideas. It like branched from that idea. It was a great concept of like, hey, I'm gonna take this money and travel. And well, like, you know, why? Why would you do that? What does that mean to someone? You know, maybe it's the memories that you make are more valuable than the product itself. And that's what the product represents. It's like the memories and the moments that are kind of held in this token. That's what they represent. So it's more than just another souvenir or another item that kind of like held some weight to the product. What else can we do? Can we send someone on a free trip? Can we surprise someone with the trip? What does that look like in different ways? How can we talk about travel in other ways and take something like, take that general concept, how can we branch it out and turn it to completely different videos.
Now, we weren't going to send Lauren by herself, so we had Sabina go with her, and we started to think about how could we incorporate some of Sabina's clients on this trip for ads themselves. Knowing that you're going to be on this trip, how did you use this as an opportunity to fit travel content within the different brands and clients that you had?
So when I heard that we were traveling, my thought immediately went to Birdie, because one of their things is that they are TSA friendly. Throughout my time working with them, I've always wanted airport shots, and that's tricky to get if you're not going on a trip. Kind of focusing on my briefs and creating the angles around airport footage. And also they came out with their new product. I knew that airport footage was going to be my focus, and also in the hotel, which we don't film in hotels usually, being able to get that hotel footage for the door alarm was my main focus.
Yeah, and I feel like because that's such a big selling point, the way we shoot, you're not able to get that type of content. Even if you were working like by yourself as a creator, like unless you're booking a trip. So having that opportunity to actually use that to show off like a major selling point is huge. But then I think also too, the value is that now we have this footage we can use beyond just like those ad specifics, like the current briefs, but then in the future we can use that content and cut it up for additional content like later on, which we just haven't had that bank of like travel content. Like we've had some, but not as much as we do now, which I think is huge.
For sure. And also like for B-roll in general, being able to shoot in San Diego, all of the backgrounds were so different than it is in Seattle. Weather-wise, obviously, but also like the architecture, the beaches, everything was different. So having those shots as well is also good for the future, and also the briefs that I was writing.
Yeah, that's super true, because then also you can use that, not only those ads specifically, but now you have a variety of like, when we're talking about like hiking, like we have mountain stuff, we have outdoor stuff, but then we can also think about just like walks, like the different look and feel of the city can create freshness visually without it being, you know, different now. What it was like to have to travel and create content, because that's not like, you know, it wasn't a vacation. So I'm curious what it was like for you guys to actually have to go, had a lot of different clients, a lot of different shots.
I've never had an opportunity to do something like this before and just like travel just to take content. So I thought it was really fun. Being able to like take out the phone and literally record everything since getting on the plane was really fun. It was different.
For me, the biggest thing was I always had to keep myself in check, being like, okay, you're on, not dilly-dallying, being in San Diego and being like, okay, you're here to work, and making sure to get the shots. So that was like really cool. And I had my shot list, but I also kind of veered away from it sometimes, because then like we would go to the beach and I'm like, oh, like this shot would be cool and stuff like that. The shot list was there for more for guidance than it was like strictly for the specific shots that I wanted. So that was kind of cool, being able to kind of be flexible with the shots, which I think was really fun.
I guess like energy wise, was it different than what you guys expected, or did you guys go in being like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be hard work, it's gonna be a lot? What was it like for you guys?
For me, it was definitely way more tiring than I expected. I don't travel a lot in general, so I didn't realize how much being on a plane, getting up at 5 a.m., going to the airport was gonna tire me out, and then coming to the airport and then right away filming content. By the end of the first day, I was just like exhausted. I like fell asleep as soon as I hit the bed.
It was super fun, but I thought it was kind of what I expected. It was definitely different being like on 24/7. It's not like we were talking to the camera, so we had to like be fake or put on some kind of face. Felt like we were working for like 30 hours straight for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like you as like this influencer having to like be on in the sense of like, okay, I'm on this trip and I've got to like post out all this content, but it's still like a lot because you are trying to get a ton of shots and like you're going across like different clients.
I did not want to miss anything. Like my biggest fear on that trip was going home and being like, oh, I wish I got that. So that's something that I like did not want to have. And so I think it was almost just the pressure of like, do I have everything I need? Like, do I need to go back to somewhere and take that again or whatnot? So kind of that thought, like you're only at the airport twice, when you're leaving and then when you're coming back. I need to get every single thing that I need.
What went wrong for you guys?
I think we kind of overshot what we could have done, which I guess is better than not having enough things. So we wanted to get to all of these different beaches, all of these different like food spots, coffee shops, but then not realizing how much it took to drive, to get ready, to get all those shots once we're actually there. I think that was like one of the biggest things, is not having enough time to get to all of the places that we wanted to.
it was hard to plan like, okay, well, how many hours do we need at the beach? We need as much time as we can until we get all the shots, right? So it's kind of hard to allocate that like schedule wise. I felt like we were also racing against the sun a little bit on that first day. Have to get everything in before the sunset.
Then
That was
you guys had like the
the
issue like
whole
with the
car
car.
rental the whole
Yeah.
car rental mishap.
Because that
Yeah,
added like
so-
another like
yeah.
hour and a half, 2 hours. So that was like cut into the sun time. Well, how would you make it better? Or if you were to do another like trip, like content trip, what would you do differently?
It's like one, I think since time felt like such a pressure, I wish we flew in the night before. That way we got to get like settled in a little bit, and you have that full first day pretty much. You have the second day to get whatever extra footage, then fly out. So I felt like we never even had like a full day anywhere, so that was a little stressful. I think having like another phone or a camera would be nice.
I think having more time was like the biggest thing for us to get all of the shots. Also being able to have an extra phone or a camera. I think a lot of times I was using my phone or Lauren was using her phone and I don't have storage. Another big thing I think would be having a different software or a different way to track our shot list. Milano is great on the computer, but on the phone it's harder to track and check them off. For me, I veered off from a couple of my shots because I was like, oh, I think this would look even better, but still referring to that shot list, I feel like if we had a different software or a different way to track it, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, like because we're so used to shooting, in home on set where there's Wi-Fi, there's tables, everything, but we don't really shoot like on the go. So that's interesting that you say that because it's not really built for like on the go, like just let it happen. What was like one of your like highlights? Like what was your favorite part or like place or thing that you did?
Just going to all the beaches. Here in Seattle, like, yeah, we have beaches, but it's not like an actual California, somewhere sunny and warm kind of beach. So being able to see that in the dead of winter was really nice.
The whole time I was there, I just kept on feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here for work. So that was just surreal to like be there. And then also just like our late night yap session together. I thought that was fun. I feel like Sabina and I are never on shoots together, so we rarely get to see each other. It was fun, whether that was talking off topic or about work. We also like brainstormed some ideas for other clients with each other, and it was nice to have someone to bounce off of.
All right, let's show some of those ads.
I decided to surprise my friend with a girls' trip to San Diego.
No way!
Here's how it went. We escaped Seattle's winter and spent time in San Diego going shopping, going to cafes, hanging out at the beach, and made so many fun memories. Because what matters most is the people you surround yourself with and the places you visit. Luckily, I can cherish these memories forever with these collectible tokens from the Wander Club. Each one represents a different destination I've visited, countries, cities, states, national parks, and they all have a unique enamel design on the front. You can pick your favorite keychain color and even engrave the back for a personalized collection. I like to hang mine on my keys, but you can also hang them on your bags or backpacks. It's the perfect conversation starter, and I love that I can carry all my travel memories with me wherever I go. Join the 400,000 plus happy wanders that are collecting memories today at thewanderclub.com.
Your pepper spray isn't TSA friendly, but She's Birdie is. I literally always forget that my pepper spray isn't TSA friendly, so I finally got myself a She's Birdie for all my trips this year. Not only is it TSA friendly, but it's allowed in all countries and it's super easy to use. All you gotta do is simply pull the tab and a loud siren and strobe light will go off, alerting others around you for help and deterring threats. She's Birdie was made by women for women to keep us all safe no matter where in the world we are, while keeping in mind aesthetics, because who would want to carry around a clunky, ugly pepper spray? I'm not joking when I say my peace of mind skyrocketed while traveling, and I no longer stress out as much when I travel to a new place. So stay safe and fly confidently anywhere at shesbirdie.com.
We are trying to push the limits here at Godot Studios, and Lauren and Sabina came up with amazing ideas, and they used this trip and like did just the most that you could even think about in this trip. The content has been awesome, and we're really excited about the results that we've gotten for our clients.
What?
Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more creative agency and marketing content.